web boot camp, you would say. Really, really good.
He's coming?
Yeah, he's going to be at the Dev Fest.
Nice.
Yeah, so first order of business, just a heads up, GDG Dev Fest 2015 Fresno. Tell everybody about it, email everybody. Try to get as many people as you can come as possible. We have some really amazing people. Zeno Rocha rocks it. So whatever you do, make sure you attend his sessions. Even if, hopefully our session, the Go stuff, isn't the same time as Zeno. And then people straight up from Google, working at Google. So anyhow, make sure you come October 17th, Fresno City College. Pretty sweet. A lot of effort going into making this thing awesome. Today what we're going to look at is we're going to just briefly look at EXIF. You can see, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's just something interesting we played around at Summer Boot Camp. And then I'm going to cut some new ground with you all through Google App Engine, and that's just 28 slides and basically up and running with Google App Engine. And then we're going to go back and look at Photoblog, and I was kind of hitting the wall on that, and I just want to make sure that I nail that. Like I wasn't happy with the solution I had yet, and I kind of like hit some problems just like thinking about it. So I thought, well, actually at 2 a.m. I thought, to hell with it, I'm going to sleep. We can talk about this tomorrow in class. But I think it'd be a good exercise also. I wouldn't throw in the towel like that if I didn't think it'd be valuable for your time. And so we'll just sort of troubleshoot that together for the last part of class. And if we nail that, get that done, there's also a really other interesting problem I'm working on, which I think might be kind of fun to sort of just talk about and look at and see what I've done so far. So first things first, just about EXIF. I don't know, Dan, you got anything you want to say? I'm talking so fast, no room to get in.
No? Did you start recording?
Yeah, I did. I hope. I think so. I did. We're at 153, 155. We're going. Muddy. So EXIF is just, I don't know what the heck that stands for. I'm sure it stands for something, but it's basically give me the camera information from photos. They embed a bunch of information in photos when you take pictures. And so we were using this like, let's just go get a bunch of pictures from people and find out their GPS coordinates on the pictures. So, you know, I don't know if you're aware of that. You probably are, right? But you could turn that off on your phone, or, you know, when you're taking photos of your family and things like that. It's a bit of a privacy, you know, breach, privacy leak, that's the best word, that most people don't know about, that when they're posting photos up, it's like they're revealing the location of their house, right, and everything like that. So basically here we have a file name, and that's just pointing to a file on the directory, like, hey, here's this file. You could do something where you walk, you know, through an entire directory and then collect all of those file names into a slice, and then, you know, iterate through the slice and print out the information for all the different photos. And then you open that file, and then defer close should be in here, because I opened a file, but that's bad coding, so I don't have defer close. And then you do something called register parsers, and so this is a third-party package. It's not you know, the standard library. And I have no idea what this does. Make note all. So that's passing in some unlimited number of arguments. That's you know, some kind of like multiple arguments there. And then you decode it. So anyhow, here's the code. That's basically it, right? And then you could get the camera model, you could get the focal length, and then the interesting stuff down here, you could get the date and time it was taken. You could also get the lat and the long. And then when you run that, you get this right here, right? So, you know, just something to be interested if you want to play with it. And I should look up the name of that actual package. Lat long. Whoa, crazy. Gosh, that's just down the street. I have no idea where that is.
It's not Knoll Island.
Knoll Island. Yeah, a lot of times they were coming up, we called it Knoll Island, right? It's just like, because if you look at like, you know, well, it's like if you look at like the Knoll place, it's like somewhere out in the middle of the Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
The southern Atlantic.
Just off the coast of Africa.
Just off the coast of Africa, where people disappear. So let me just open this up. And here is the package, right, where you could, that's just one of the ones that's out there. That's the one we use. So you could download that package and play with it if you wanted to do it. Bam! Step one done. All right, step two, looking at App Engine. So this is all sort of just up and running with App Engine, stuff we saw last semester. And if you go to Golang App Engine, right, and I think this is it. I don't know. Let's see. I've certainly been there plenty of times. And then they have this Go tutorial right here. And you walk through all this. And we aren't getting into this and this, but we're basically doing 1, 2, 3, and 7 in here. And then the next couple of what's today? Tuesday? Thursday we'll do user services, handling, and maybe some data store. But that's what we're going to start to work into. It's a bit of a transition, actually, because we've been focusing on Go code. Now we're going to start focusing on how do we do this. But it's not too bad. I was just noticing last night when I was watching Caleb's lectures, I watched like the first half of day 10 and made notes on it and everything. It's like, how am I going to translate this? Because he covers a lot of ground and kind of goes here and then there and then there. So I'm just trying to find the right pathway to present it. All right. Oh, one thing I want to say before we do all that is this weekend, let me see, where is it? Sent mail. Everybody in the world is looking at my email. Or not everybody, but, and there we go. So these two URLs right there, kind of blurry. QEREX9R20YQ and CLATK lowercase l, capital L, MR5 lowercase l are the two presentations I gave this weekend at Silicon Valley Code Camp. And Eunice came up with me and hung out for a bit, and we had a really nice time. And Friday was okay. It was pretty great in the morning, but then I sort of crashed in the afternoon. I give myself like a low C. and then I thought, like, Friday night, like 11 o'clock, I was like, crap, we went out for dinner, and then, I had a couple of beers. I was like, crap, I should really try to do a better job on Saturday. So I just worked 11 to like 4 a.m. and I went through all of our files and I pulled out, and then, like what I thought is like, here are the best little samples, and this is the best sort of pathway. And so I created this new folder inside our repo that we're using, 99 Silicon Valley Code Camp. And this is a really nice review. So if you just want to go through and look at all this, like, it's like, here's where I started out with everybody. And so I don't know if we had this file, but like, right, that's like totally straightforward. I just have a variable, which is of type string. And then I'm going to print out, basically the text for a web page. And then I'm going to put that variable in there. It's like very step one of templating. And so when I run that, I could do like, whoops. Go run main. And then I could use this little deal, right, which says put the output to some file. So I'm going to put the output to this file, index.html, just making that up, right? And let me get rid of the one that's already there. And so when I run this, right, it dumps that into here. So you see that, and then I could open that, and what happened? There's nothing in there. Did I open it too fast before the results got there? That's so weird. I opened it before the results got written. The file got created, but the results weren't yet written. And so then I could open that, and it's like, sweet, So that presentation really seemed to work well with people. So I recommend, if you want, just walk through these things and check it out. And all the way up to cookies and sessions, and this is the one we're going to work on. I need to get that kind of where I'm happy with it. All right, that said, this one, Golang App Engine. So basic hello world. This is the tutorial that we're going through. You need to have Python 2.7 installed, not 3.5, right, for this to work. So that's already going to be on your machine if you're running a Mac, but if you're on Windows, you can see I did this when I was on Windows. You'll need to download that. And then install App Engine SDK. So you can download that and install it. And when we click on this link, you get the choice right here for installing it. So you just choose your choice and return to full screen. And then we'll use two commands from the Go App tool in the SDK. Go serve for running a local development server, or sorry, Go App serve, and then Go App deploy for uploading your app to App Engine. If you try to deploy and it doesn't deploy well, there's a app config shortcut thing, which is helpful. And in our syllabus or wherever you guys get to the links of videos, let me just show you that. I think I don't have it in here. Where are the links to the videos? They just open up when I start my computer. Summer Web Programming Outline. I think I have it in Programming. I put it under Summer Bootcamp. Video descriptions, there we go. So right here is this one. So if the Go app deploy isn't working, you run this. And so that's a really good thing just to make note of, because you'll hit your head against the wall on that for a while if you don't have that, trying to find that. And then it might ask you if you have two-step authentication, right, to sort of make some configuration with that. All right, so Go app serve, Go app deploy. And simplify development and deployment. Consider adding a directory to your path environment variable. This can be done by adding the following line to your home or bash RC or equivalent. Export path to Go App Engine, right? So add that to your environment variables. And here you can see mine added to my path, right? User local Go App Engine after I've installed App Engine. And so here is the first your App Engine hello world, and you'll notice I don't have a func main, so no func main. Instead, it's func init. So App Engine uses your func main, so just you have to make it init, and that's what you use. And init means initialize on startup, right? This is what runs, so that stuff runs on startup. And that's going to file print to the response hello world. And then you have something called an app YAML file where you'll configure it with the name of your application. All this stuff is boilerplate. Pretty much just leave version 1. You can increment the versions and then always roll back and see previous versions. And you say, go ahead.
The Google documentation actually recommends that you not start your version with a number due to the fact that that version is actually part of the URL if you want to choose between different versions. And it gets confusing for them sometimes if you use a number. I mean, it works, but it can be confusing.
Really? I didn't know that.
So you can use any string for your version.
ONETWOTHREE. Yeah, so they like that better, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or
so even your current version has to have the version and then URL? I didn't know that.
No, the whatever you've got set to the default will be if you skip the version of the URL, it'll go to whatever's set as the default on your App Engine control panel.
When you serve or when you deploy?
When you deploy. So if you deploy two different versions of your code with a different version thing, you can get to them through slightly different URLs. If you skip the version part of the URL, it'll go to the default, which is the first one that you uploaded.
Yeah, so maybe that'd be good to kind of just show like where you could read about the different settings for app YAML. And I think it's under configuration, right? App config right here. And about app YAML and, required elements, optional elements, And so one of the questions I had when we were just looking at all that, like configuring your app YAML is, API version Go 1, aren't we at 1.5? Could I put in 1.5? So I could look in here just for version, and I have 39 options to click through here. But here they have, version 1.5 or 1.
So you can see it says version alpha 001.
Oh yeah, here they have version alpha 001. Wow, that's cool. And API version is the version of the API in the given runtime environment used by this application. When Google releases a new version of a runtime environment's API, your application will continue to use one for which it was written. To upgrade your application to the new API, you change this value and upload the upgraded code. At this time, App Engine has one version of the Go runtime environment, Go 1. So this is different. This is App Engine's runtime, right? Not the Go language, which is at 1.5.
Yeah. So I believe the App Engine one's at the equivalent of the 1.4 of Go.
I sometimes marvel how you know all this stuff. That's awesome. And then where was it that you saw that thing about setting the version name?
Yeah,
somewhere in here.
It would be under the required elements for version. I'm not sure exactly.
Required elements. Runtime, API, handlers, optional application, version. Lowercase letter, digits, hyphens.
We recommend that the version names begin with a letter so that they may easily be distinguished from the numeric instance number.
Huh. All right. Interesting. Cool. So pretty much you just put in this. Here you could set handlers, and so you could like say, hey, if certain endpoints occur in my web application, we could do things a certain way. But it seems also like you could just leave it as default and do all of your handlers in this place right here. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the only point where you'd want to change with different handlers would be if you need different things for different URLs, like if you require something going to one URL to be HTTPS, but you don't care for everything else. And the other thing would be for static files, like your images and such. If you do it through the Go stuff, it's fine. It goes pretty fast, about the same speed as if you do it through Go handlers as through the App Engine static file stuff. But you only have you are paying per time that it's running your code. And if you do it to the static file, it doesn't have to get to your code. It can just immediately just give the image to whoever's asking. So, not much of a difference, but there is a little bit of a difference. So if you're running up on the limits for the free instance hours for your code, you might flip around to using the app.yaml static file servers instead of using the Go for serving files.
So you would say basically, hey, you could serve files from this directory, and you could set that right here.
Yeah.
And then you just say serve files from the image folder, and they would serve all of your images anytime it's asked for. And then it's bypassing having to go to your Go code, so reducing the amount of time that, what did you call it? Your instance hours that are running. Is there an example of that in here?
Static file handlers. So I usually just use a static directory handler.
Static directory handler. So you just put in this static dir.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the URL, so that's the endpoint. So anytime anything comes in there, what does that do right there? What's that pointing towards?
That would be the actual hard folder on your disk, your hard drive.
Okay, the static directory. Okay. And then it'll just serve all that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because at the free level, you've got 28 instance hours a day, I think. So
28 instance hours a day?
Yeah.
Cool, there's only 24 hours a day, so we'll never run out.
So the instance hours is if they have to run more than one server, because you got a lot of traffic, it'll go down faster too. So if you got enough traffic that you get 2 instances of servers up, then you'll be going down twice as fast. So if you're just you only have the one server running at a time, which most of our websites will probably have for the most part, then you're never going to run out of that. But
cool.
But if you do find yourself running low, it is something to keep in mind that you can just tell the app.yaml this is a folder of things that you don't have to bother with my code for.
More information. Anybody have any comments? Jump in. Run the following command, giving it the path to my app directory to compile your app and start the development server. So that's go app serve my app. If you add it to your path, you could just do go app serve like that. The web server is now running, listening for requests on port 8080. Test the application by visiting the following URL on your web browser, localhost 8080. I haven't tried this. Wonder if I have the hello world in the code. We might be coming to it. What's this down here? We have one thing. Anyhow, there it is, hello world. I must have it running. It's there. It is. And to stop your server, Control-C on Unix, Mac. I don't know what you do on Windows.
Windows 2, yeah.
Windows, same. And so, the next thing was like, hey, can we take the photo blog and put it onto App Engine? And so here's all the code for the photo blog. And the main thing is in red there. You have no main. You use init instead. And you don't have an HTTP listen and serve, right? Because App Engine's doing all that for you. And so here you see no listen and serve. And you also see that the handlers and handler funcs and handle func all got put into init. And then other than that, it runs.
What was the package name?
So it looks like this was the way it was before right here, because this is main, this is before, I should put a big before, and this is after. What's that?
What do you name the package?
Oh, package. I think package could stay package main. You just can't have func main. Is that right?
The package name can be whatever, I think.
Yeah, package name can be whatever.
I'm not sure if it can be package main or not, but you can just give it a random name if you want.
Let's find out. We are up here. We are in App Engine. And I imagine this is going to be Hello World. So
Package hello.
change the documents, 51 and 01 and Go App Serve, right? Whoops, Go App Serve, not Go App Server. Cool. And localhost 8080.
It takes a while for the Go App Serve to get booted up, since it's basically an entire, all of the App Engine.
There are too many files. I never understood that. Did you get that error, or is that just me? I'd always get this. There are too many files in your application for what? For
I think
parentheses?
Caleb mentioned once that it was basically, it's scanning all of your
There we
Go
go.
files completely, including everything you've used GoGet to get, and it's too much for the little script that's following, like trying to scan every Go file on your entire computer.
The nice thing about this is it automatically refreshes. You don't have to restart your server when you restart code, when you change your code. So you saw that last year.
So yeah, change the package name.
All right, let's change it. Main.
Yeah, see if main works. I know you can't use the main function, but okay. So yeah, it looks like you can have whatever package name you want.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
But if I made this main,
But yeah, you can't have a main function because App Engine provides that for you. It's got its own main function that does its own stuff.
I think I left this one called, no, I called it photos.
So yeah, for the photo blog, this all works except for the uploading of pictures. That will no longer work with the App Engine stuff.
Yeah. Why is that? Keep going.
App Engine has a read-only file directory. So when you try to open the file to write your photos, when someone uploads to you, App Engine will shut you down. Or rather, it'll return an error on the os.create that opens the file.
So what it wants us to do is to use like GCS, Google Cloud Storage, for photos, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason for this is because the App Engine is running on potentially many servers all over the place. So you can't just have a write to a file on there, because that's just the one server. And then your other servers won't see it. And then when they decide to shut down that server and start it up against somewhere else, they no longer have the file. So they just decided it was much easier to say it's read-only and call it good.
I think that's a good decision. I also changed package name from main to photos, file name from main to photos.
File name doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Neither of those matter. So how do you deploy it? Google Developer Console. You go there and then you create a project. And so here you see some projects. You see like my Wacka President. I've showed you guys that, right? Did I show you my Wacka President? I gotta show you my Wacka President.
I think you bought a URL for that.
I'm never going to be able to go through airport security quickly again. Who do you want to whack? It's all JavaScript, pure JavaScript. Come on, who do you want to whack? Huh?
Reagan.
You want to whack Reagan? That's the first thing I heard. So that's all on App Engine. Kind of fun. That's all JavaScript. I don't know if my video is going to be flagged. I got to figure out. I got to take out that sound there. 24 minutes. I got to cut that out, because anytime you steal somebody else's sound and then put it on YouTube, you get flagged. And they're really good about flagging people. Remind me. 24 minutes, everybody. I got to take that out. I should have just hit pause.
I had a friend who got flagged because he put a recording of himself playing a song on the piano.
I know, and it just sounded too much like the real thing. So then you get a project ID. And then you go app, deploy, application, your project ID, my app, whatever. How do you actually do that? Go app, deploy, dash application, photo blog, That was my ID, right? Photoblog 1008 is my ID. There it is. And then I put a dot, meaning I'm in the current directory. So the syntax of that is go app deploy application, go app deploy dash application, your project ID, mine was Photoblog 1008, which I got from here, Photoblog 1008, right? And then it wanted, hey, where's the path to your app? Path to my app is right where I'm running this command. And so then it deploys it, and then you'll see this right here. Hey, we're deploying. It ran all this up at the top, and then this is what it ran at the bottom. So I have no idea what all that stuff is.
So that part here, at least, is saying that your version is a bit behind. They've had 5 updates.
Oh, I need to update. I need to reinstall App Engine.
Yeah,
all
right. Had 4 updates since then.
Latest SDK, your SDK.
So then it's listing here what the versions that are of each thing that are supported. So Go is still just Go 1, so no problems there.
Huh, cool. I love having you right by my side. I wish you were there all the time when I'm programming. 2-step auth, so if you have 2-step auth, this will explain to you that thing I just showed you about how to, if Go app deploy doesn't work for you, you run that. And then you could look at it at your app ID at appspot.com. So I would look at photoblog-1008 at appspot.com. When I first showed this picture, I was like, oh my gosh, do those girls have their tops on? And I was like, oh, okay, good, they do. Because this was taken in Bali where, it's like the French Riviera or whatever. And you should be able to run it now. So if we go look at that, photoblog, appspot.com. I'm already in a web browser. Photoblog, appspot. Nice. And it's showing the null island because you don't have any of the. And I don't know what happens if I go to admin. Does this actually work? I think it's you and me I did on this one. Might be secret. Oh, I am. Upload a file. This probably won't work. Can't open assets 09, no such file or directory. So that's
read only.
Read only. That's the end of my battery.
Done.
Double A or triple A?
That's all right. I could do this one, though I don't care for it quite as much. Yeah, if anybody has 2 AA's, awesome. And then the last thing you do is you can point a domain to your App Engine, and so you could go to Google Domains and easily buy a domain, $12 a month, and then you just come into the DNS.
A year, I think.
Thank you so much.
Change
Thanks.
the whole thing.
Oh no, that's all right. No, I like mine. I like mine.
You like yours?
Yeah, I like
Alright.
mine. Yeah, I'll take those. Thank you very much, Eunice.
Okay, no problem. Alright.
Whoever invented USD had to have been an evil genius to discover how to make you always put it in upside down first try.
Huh?
I know
That's
it.
what the new one is going to be either way.
Either way, yeah, but it takes a while for them to upgrade.
All right. Cool. So then you just point your DNS records towards power. Thank you very much. Yeah. You point your DNS records towards your. What am I pointing towards there? I guess that's WAC President is my ID. Is that my ID? My project ID? Did I get? You could also set your own project ID when you're doing it, or I'll give you a default one. So I set my own project ID, point that, and then it runs. Pretty cool.
Yep. So beyond the Go app deploy, that long version, if you go to the app YAML and the application is set to the app ID, it will. You can just go to that directory and just say Go app was it Go app deploy?
Go app deploy, yeah.
Yeah, without having to have the extra dash application ID dot parameters.
Yeah, I think did I include that in the notes or no?
No.
I did the full thing. Let's see what happens. Well, it's not. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the introduction to App Engine. And anybody have any questions? All right. So it's straightforward. So we'll get into data store pretty soon and actually storing stuff.